As Mardi Gras is creeping a little bit closer here in the state of Louisiana, it is time we start talking about the numerous crews of New Orleans you will find should you decide to visit our great state around Mardi Gras. This is by no means an extensive list because let me tell you, there are hundreds of crews, not only in New Orleans but spread throughout the entire state of Louisiana. You can look every single one of them up if you want to, but I promise you it's going to take hours to do so. So I figured I'd include some of the more interesting ones and some of the more popular ones you will find in and around the New Orleans area. We have already talked about the Mystic Krewe of Krewes and the Krewe of Zulu in previous videos. I'll link those videos in the description box below. But there are a few others whose parades are fairly interesting that you should visit. So let's start with the most popular and well-known of these crews, the Krewe of Rex. This crew was formed by a group of businessmen in 1872. They founded the School of Design and invented the King of Carnival, or Krewe of Rex, as a way of honoring visiting Russian royalty and introducing the family colors as the official colors of Mardi Gras, which are still used today. The King of Rex parade was a daytime parade that ran regularly from 1872 to 1910, and they are one of the few original crews that still hold parades to this day. It is the premier parade and the last parade of Mardi Gras night. Once the Krewe of Rex passes, it ushers in the Lenten season. So you really want to get in on watching the Krewe of Rex parade. The Knights of Mummas, not to be confused with the Mystic Krewe of Krewes, held their parade the weekend before Mardi Gras in 1871, a full year before the Krewe of Rex. Its members wore masks to keep their identities a secret and disbanded around World War II. A new group was founded in the mid-1980s. Now let's get into some of the more interesting Mardi Gras crews that you will find in New Orleans. One that I found was called the Lazy Boys. Yeah, just like the chairs. These are motorized chairs that actually roll down the street, and you can only find something like that in Louisiana. It is one of the more unique crews, and I didn't find any significant throws that they use or when they were founded. It's just weird to see a bunch of people riding around in a bunch of chairs. Don't you think that's one of our major dreams in life, was to have that one comfy chair we could just go everywhere in? I think they took that to the next level, if you ask me. The Krewe of Bacchus, which is named after the Greek god of wine and festivities, debuted in 1969 in the form of a super crew. And what a super crew is, it's well over 1,000 members or so and 500 riders. It's just really, really big. And their parade had a celebrity monarch, and there was what's called a super dance instead of a masked ball afterwards. I'm pretty sure that that has to be one interesting dance. After World War II, New Orleans actually saw an explosion of crews all over the place. For example, you have the Krewe of Choctaw, which was founded in 1946, and we've already talked about Zulu. Zulu and Mid-City were founded in 1947. The 1950s, you saw more parades form, such as Midas, Orion, Ferret, Gemini, Okeanos, Poseidon, and Zeus. Now, let me tell you this. You can't go to New Orleans Mardi Gras without checking out the Mardi Gras Indians, which are primarily comprised of African American communities in and around the inner city of New Orleans and have paraded the city through at least a century or more. The individuals in the Mardi Gras Indians can actually trace their ancestry back to Native American communities that lived in and around the New Orleans area and lived in Louisiana long before any settlers ever arrived. Now let's check out the Krewe of Endymion, another well-known crew founded in 1967. It has well over 3,000 plus male riders and 37 floats, many of them tandem. And what a tandem float is, you have one float pulling another float. Think of a train that way. Endymion is considered a super crew and is known for its celebrity monarchs and very generous throws. One unique crew that I found was a Alice in Wonderland inspired crew, which was founded in 2019, so it's fairly recent. It is called the Crew of the Magical Mad Hatters. It has about 400 members and 26 flows with a signature throw of custom hats. And who doesn't love the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, am I right? Now remember in Friday's video when I talked about lawnmowers being in parades? Well, New Orleans has a lawnmower crew. That's right. It's called the Crew of Pushmo, and they parade the streets with decorated lawnmowers. Everyone in this parade is encouraged to wear costumes, and kids 12 and under can win prizes for theirs. Unfortunately, I do not have a date as to when they were founded, but like the Lazy Boys, I think this would be a pretty interesting parade to watch. We have the Crew of Perseus, founded in 1970, and is Slidell's oldest crew, named after that Perseus, the one who took on the Gorgon Medusa. It is a co-ed group of 150 strong with about 13 floats and a signature throw of a hand-decorated plastic crab. If you've ever heard of the Crew of Orpheus, there's actually two of them. The original one was founded in 1987 and famous for its pine loon. They are on a gold double base, spray painted purple, gold, and green, and sprinkled with gold glitter. It's said that whomever gets and displays the pine loon in their home has good fortune all year. The second incarnation of Orpheus was founded in 1993, had about 1,500 plus co-ed members, 38 floats, with tandem ones and celebrity monarchs. Most interesting of one of their throws is a 4-foot-long stuffed dragon. Now that's pretty cool. I'd go to that parade just to get the dragon. The Crew of Podius is a 230 male rider crew founded in 1882. It has about 20 floats and still uses the original chassis from the 1880s. Now that's pretty cool. If you can use the chassis and keep them going well over 100 plus years, you're doing something right, my friend. Now here's a crew I think some will find pretty doggone cool. The Crew of Little Rascals. Yeah, definitely there's a crew named after that old TV show. This was founded in 1983 and is primarily made of kid riders, about 225 strong with 17 floats or so. Now here's a crew for some of you Star Wars fanatics out there. This was a pretty recent crew founded in 2010 and it is called the Crew of Chewbacca's. I'll say that again. Crew of Chewbacca's is 900 plus strong members, made up of 150 distinct sub-crews. Does that make it a super crew? Huh, interesting. They make their own throws and do not use combustion engines whatsoever on their floats. Floats are either pedal-powered or push-pulled. As we all know, a good majority of the crews in New Orleans are catered towards family, and some of them are catered towards kids, but there are those that are catered towards the adults. And here is one, Crew of View, V-I-E-W-X, founded in 1978. It has numerous sub-crews and is loved for their wild satire, adult themes, and political comedy. They were the first to march after Katrina and gained national attention for bringing joy to the city in the face of tragedy. And as we all know what Katrina did to New Orleans, they were heralded for being the first Mardi Gras crew to march in the city. The fourth oldest crew in New Orleans is the Crew of Carrollton, founded in 1924, right after Rex, Proteus, and Zulu. They are made of 575 male riders, 27 floats, and has a signature throw of hand-decorated shrimp boats. The Crew of Paws of Old Town is a canine crew, founded in 2009 and helps to raise money for animal assistance groups in Slidell. Another canine crew in New Orleans is the crew of Barkus, not to be confused with the crew of Bacchus, which was founded in 1992 when Thomas Wood brought his own dog to a meeting. After others complained, he made his dog, JoJo McWood, the queen of her own parade and captain for life as a means to get back at them. And yes, this parade still rolls to this day. Those were just some of the 78 crews. That's right, 78. That hold parades in and around the New Orleans area. There are so many more crews around Louisiana with an interesting history and signature throws of their own, including 50 around Lake Charles and 20 plus around Lafayette itself. So the next time you're in Louisiana around Mardi Gras, feel free to check out the mini crews and their respective parades. You won't be disappointed. Join us next week when we're going to be talking about Cajun Mardi Gras and the history behind the Cajun Mardi Gras and some of the careers in the week to follow. We're getting closer to Mardi Gras. You're not going to want to miss those two videos. Remember to bring some joy, laughs, and smiles to somebody's day, and we will see you in our next one. Later.